you are 7 years old. Your father has already chosen your husband. You are 12. You are going to him forever. You are 21. You are gone. This is not a fairy tale. This was real life, and it had a face. At the end, I will tell you about one princess who decided to change it. The scandal reached the Pope himself. But first, let's go back to the Middle Ages. The first miracle of a medieval princess, that she survived at all. Child mortality reached 50 to 60%. Doctors could let blood and give questionable medicines. In serious cases, they prescribed prayer. This was considered real treatment. Close family marriages added genetic problems on top of all that. The English Queen Anne Stuart lost all 17 of her children, all of them. If you did survive, you were fed very little on purpose. Science believed that too much food was bad for a child's body. Bread, milk, nuts, honey, an apple soup, that was the royal diet. Meat and sweets, only at feasts, and children were not allowed there until the age of 7. From the outside, a castle looks like luxury. From the inside, a very different story. Stone walls don't hold heat. The toilet was a small room attached to the wall, open to the outside. Courtiers relieved themselves from balconies or in the corners of rooms. When the smell became unbearable, the royal family simply moved to another castle. Washing was considered harmful and, in some places, sinful. Hair was washed once a week with a mix of herbs and ash. After that, lice and eggs were combed out with a special comb. Lice, by the way, were seen as a sign of holiness in some traditions. The daughter of a French king died from lice. No one treated her, because that would have been disrespectful to God. Dresses were only aired out. Only underwear was washed, and not everyone had it. A high, open forehead was a sign of intelligence and high status. To achieve it, the hair at the hairline was burned off every day with a mix of quicklime and ash soaked in vinegar. The skin burned. Nobody stopped. Eyebrows and eyelashes were pulled out completely. For the same reason, the less hair on the face, the cleaner and more refined you looked, and that was a sign of noble birth. Light curls became a symbol of purity and being chosen by God. Because that is exactly how angels and holy women were painted in church frescoes. Dark hair was connected with evil. Dark-haired women were often called witches. So women used everything: onion skin, herbal mixtures, old sheep urine. Or they simply sat in the sun for hours until their hair turned light on its own. White, healthy teeth, a sign of a common person. A princess was supposed to have black teeth, or better yet, rotten ones. Queen Elizabeth I of England started this fashion, and ladies at court immediately began to blacken their teeth. By the end of the Middle Ages, some women filed their teeth down to a square shape. Still jealous, most princesses never went to balls or tournaments. Looking out of the window was considered indecent. A woman at the window could be seen by strange men, which meant she was behaving badly. In some courts, the rules were more relaxed. French and Italian princesses did go out into society. But the Spanish court, for example, kept its princesses locked away so strictly that even a glass of water had to be served in a special way. Every day, needlework, reading the Holy Scripture, languages, music, geography. All of this, not for personal growth, but for one purpose. A princess was a political tool, a living guarantee of peace between kingdoms. She was promised to the right prince in childhood to seal an agreement between two countries. Isabel, the daughter of the French king, married the English king at the age of 6. Her husband was 28. A princess from the Sforza family was married at 2 years old. By 10, she was already a widow. A princess saw her husband for the first time on their wedding day. Before that, only a flattering portrait. Henry VIII fell in love with the portrait of Anne of Cleves, but when he met her in person, he cancelled the wedding. Princesses did not have that option. A husband could cheat, that was normal. Hit her, normal. Send her to a monastery or to the Inquisition, his right. Marry again a month after her death, also normal. That is exactly what the husband of the Spanish princess Margaret Teresa did. He promised to love her forever. He married again just a few months after her death. She was 21. She died giving birth. Giving birth was the biggest killer of princesses. When things went wrong, doctors used symphysiotomy. They literally cut part of the pelvic bone so the baby could come out, without any pain relief. A cesarean section existed, but it was only done on a mother who was already dead. And here is the story I promised. Her name was Joan of Kent, a princess. At 12 years old, she secretly married a knight named Thomas Holland. No money, no permission from the king. Soon after, he left for a crusade. While he was away, her family made Joan marry the son of the Earl of Salisbury, one of the richest men in England. She said nothing about the first marriage. She was afraid that Thomas would be executed for daring to marry a princess without the king's permission. When Holland came back, famous, rich, he told everything. He confessed to the king and sent a complaint to the Pope. To the Pope specifically, because in the Middle Ages marriage was a church matter, and only the church could decide which of the two marriages was legal. Her second husband put Joan under house arrest so she could not speak in favor of Holland. But she supported him anyway. Pope Clement VI looked at the case for 18 months. In 1349, he made his decision. The second marriage was not valid because Joan was already married. In effect, this was a recognition that her family had created a bigamous marriage. The Pope cancelled the marriage to the Earl and ordered Joan to return to Holland. They lived together for 11 years and had 5 children. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. There are many more stories ahead that will break your favorite myths.